This week's proud sponsors of the episode are Murphy and Young Limited. They design, manufacture, supply and erect bespoke timber kit houses and summer houses. You can visit them at murphyandyoungltd.co.uk or contact them at info@murphyandyoungltd.co.uk. If you're looking for any information, if you get any projects they can help you with, then just give them a shout. The lads are top notch. Hope you enjoy the episode. Cheers. Alright everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the Roundup. Good week, mate. Some good results. Couple of shock results, you know.
Mate, I've got a wee Vino, mate.
Oh, you've had a haircut, and have you not had a haircut and an aqua?
Mate, I've just had my Sunday dinner with Mrs. Dad. She made a lovely chicken and bacon pie, but
nice.
Obviously it had bacon in it. It wasn't halal, so don't tell me that.
Before we get any complaints, I'll just get in there. I'll go through the South game, since that's the vast majority of the games, and then we'll go into the league stuff. Not that there's very much yet. Bonus 3, Gartcairn 1 on, was it Friday they played?
Friday night, aye.
Friday night game. Lesmahago 6, Creetown 3, Trin 3, Lanark 1, Glenafton 2-all with Kello, 3 each extra time. Glenafton won 4-1 in penalties. Muirkirk 2, Whitlets 4, Largs 5, Perthshire 1, Arthurlie 5, Benburn 1, the Ants 2, Glencairn 0, the Borough 1, Greenock 2, Hamley Road 0, Clydebank 5, Saltcoats 1, Glasgow United 8, Meda 5, Co 1 and 3, Fairclyde 0, Pollock 4, the Mighty St Pedro's 1, Beath 4, Rossfield 6, Campbelltown 0, Kilbirnie 4, Port Glasgow 1. I've still got another 10 results to go at least.
Yeah.
Where was I? Was it Port Glasgow? Yoker 0, Drumchapel 3, Cunall 1, Harthill 3, Glasgow Union 0, Lancarty 2, Cumbernauld 1, Swifts 0, Bonneton 1, St Cuthbert's 3, Blantyre 2, Cumnock 0, Abbeyvale 4, Newmains 3, Girvan 1, Maple 2, Larkhall 0, East Kilbride 3, Talbot 1, Forth 0, Cambuslang 7, Lochmaben 0, Kilsyth 2, Thornywood 2, Thornywood 1, 6-5 in penalties. East Kilbride, Thistle 4, Newton Stewart 2, St Cadoc's 3, Petershill 4, the game of the day. So, mate, I'm just going to dive in. On you go.
I think Newmains won, mate. Newmains won.
Right, I'm going to have to look. I looked at one of the websites that gave me the results, and it has them losing. So hang on a second.
No, they won 4-3.
Did they? Hang on a second. That's the second time I've done it in a couple of weeks.
It's all right, mate. That's why you beat your Uncle Dak with you, mate, just to keep you right. But when you want to do a team,
I'm going to like and retweet it. So they did 4-3 to Newmains. So well done, Newmains. I'll start, if you don't mind, on the St Peter's game, since I was at it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Beath went 2 up in the first 10 minutes, and it was looking like it was going to be an absolute scudding. Scott Lewis's went through 1-on-1, clipped it air. Big Dale's handballed it outside the box, got himself sent off. And see, to be honest, that saved the game. As shite as it is for Dale, it saved the game and made it much more a contest. Granted, we had 5 of our under-20s playing. We had 10 missing yesterday. I know Beath made quite a few changes. With Butch came in and played. I tell you what, I was slagging him for this, mate. So Big Dale gets sent off, right? So instead of Butch being the good guy and taking himself off, he took one of the young boys off. Horrible, man.
Need the experience, you're doing 10 men, mate. You need the experience.
Aye.
I'm sure it helped you that.
Second half, if I'm being honest, maybe I've got the red and black tinted shades on, but I thought second half we probably edged it. We scored a penalty. Conor McGlinchey's got 2 penalties. We've scored an own goal, and then they've scored a 4th goal. But I genuinely thought we did quite well. We had a couple of chances we missed as well, but the boys gave a good account of themselves, particularly our under-20s. They were very good. Boy Menzies for us gave Conor McGlinchey a right hard day, and that's a good fullback he was up against, so we were pretty happy with the result.
See, that's the difference, mate. They've got that wee bit of quality. Obviously going down to 10 men. But there's the positives for St Peter's right there. That's 2 very good teams that went toe-to-toe in the cups, albeit the results haven't been quite what they wanted, but these young boys in the club are all going to be better for it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to play against teams of this calibre weekly, as I've already mentioned, but I wouldn't be too disappointed, but
I'd be happy with it, to be honest with you.
But
right.
I don't know what else to say, mate. You seem as if you've summed it up in a nutshell.
The boys did well. Be better side, deserved their victory, but we were just happy that with so many young players and so many missing, we gave a pretty decent account of ourselves. So the club's happy with that. I'm going to move on to a big win for the Ants, 2-0 against Glenken. That's an excellent result for them.
Aye, aye, definitely. Brilliant result for Danny and the Ants boys. Tremendous, keeping a clean sheet, big jabs on it, big jabs getting a double. Superb for them. Delighted for the committee and that doing it. The Ants, that's obviously been a right good cup day for them. So take my hats off to them to keep a clean sheet against a team that's in the higher leagues is no mean feat, and to win the game is tremendous for them. So they'll be buzzing this week in training, and Danny will be hoping that it's a catalyst again for a wee bit of run of form again. But amazing, really take my hat off to him. It's a top result for Ants.
It's a cracking result because you really look at the way when the leagues are going to be split next year. The Ants will probably be 2 divisions below what Glencairn are the new. Like you said, to get a clean sheet and all, it shows. I think the Ants have had a couple of results like the beating Nielsen that yesterday. It shows that they've got a bit of quality. They've maybe just lacking the consistency because then they're losing games in the league that they would probably feel a bit disappointed with. But it shows there's definitely quality in that Ants team to go and beat better sides.
We've played against them, mate. They've definitely got quality players. They've got quality players in their team, mate. So I'm a wee bit surprised because of Glencairn are a good side. But I'm happy because I'll be honest with you, I'm part of a coaching staff at a team at the lower ones. I always like to see the underdogs do well against the so-called bigger teams. So although I've got no affiliation with both clubs, it's always nice to see a couple of wee upsets here. So it's a great result, and as I've already said, mate, tremendous for Danny and the boys, and I'm sure a few sherbets were taken on Saturday night to celebrate, mate, last night.
Definitely. Touching on another good result, even though they didn't win, Kello pushing Glenafton all the way to penalties. Yep. Tony McInally, the new gaffer in there, he'll be delighted with that. That we kind of mentioned with him on Twitter earlier. But I think that's positive for them because that's a good Glenafton side. And to be able to go 120 minutes toe-to-toe with them and then losing penalties, which is obviously can be a bit of a lottery.
Mm-hmm. Tony's obviously went in there, and the players right for the get-go have had a jag, and they've all probably been eager to impress him. I don't know if he's brought new players in. I couldn't tell you because their Twitter's not very good at updating or anything like that. I don't think, but very good, mate. Very good. And I would be disappointed at losing in penalties. It's always sore, especially when you take it that far. But it's a lottery in it, and I think Glenafton will just be delighted to be in the draw for the next round. It's been a tricky tie for them, but hats off to the Kello boys. They've obviously put in a right great shift that day. And they've been close and they've been unlucky, and it could have went either way for them, especially when it comes to penalties. So well done to them, and it was good to Tony, and wish Tony all the best. And every game he plays for Kello except doing it at Ashfield.
Aye. They can go and get pumped in that game. Blantyre beating Cadoc 2-0. I was talking to Gibby a couple of days ago, just kind of obviously I've known Gibby for quite a while, and I was just having a wee chat with him. And he was saying that they brought in Aaron Black back in, and they were looking to change a couple of things because it obviously hadn't been working for them. And what a result that is, because Cadoc are having, I suppose Cadoc have been a wee bit of a mixed bag as well. They're going and beating good sides, and then they're dropping points that they probably disappointed with, but they're still a very good side. So for Blantyre, that's a cracking win. I watched
the highlights. Firstly, I've got a good relationship, and we have got a good relationship with Cadoc faithful, and obviously I got on well with we both got on well with Tony and Branko and stuff. But one guy I'm delighted for, me was Gibby. Honestly, absolutely delighted for him. Great guy, and I watched his interview after the game, and you could see, mate, he was bursting with pride, mate. He's obviously had a tough few weeks. The guys doing it at Blantyre have had a tough few weeks, but it was an impressive performance for what I seen in the highlights, mate. They looked a threat going forward. there wasn't a lot of chances in the highlights for Cadoc hit the bar in the first half right enough. But as Gibby alluded to, their goalies not really had to make a save. So tremendous result for Blantyre, boys. I take my hats off to the players. It's been a tough few weeks for them, and maybe that's just what they need. Adding Aaron Black, mate, is a brilliant signing for them, mate, because he's a Blantyre boy. He knows what the club's all about. He's young, enthusiastic. He's a ball carrier. He can make things happen in the final third. So for them, it's a tremendous acquisition getting him back. He's played against him in a friendly a couple of years back when he was at Blantyre, and I was dead impressed with him. So I think they've added a couple. I think they got a boy, Cammy McNair, for Broomhill and all.
Right.
And the two of them have played. So Gibby will pick up players as the season goes on, and I saw him just now hoping that this is going to kick them on. But as I said again, one guy in club I'm delighted for is Blantyre, because they've had a tough few weeks, and it's good that they've got their day, mate.
I see. You seen that? Like, did you catch the highlights, or was it just interviews you watched? See for
watch
me,
the highlights.
Mate. Aaron Black. I don't know what's happened at Darvel. I don't know how much he's played or how much he's not played or whatever, right? But I seen him before for Blantyre, and it just looks like Blantyre's the right team for him. For me, it just like you seen how much he clicked yesterday.
He's young, but mate, he's young. I know. So Darvel, the thing with Darvel was Darvel got a squad, not just a starting lineup, a squad littered with pure quality players. That if you're probably 95% of the teams in the west of Scotland, and you can even get one of the players, you're biting the horn off Mick, or you're biting the horn off that player to get them. And Aaron's no different. Aaron's young and needs to play football, and Mick knows that as well. So they're going to probably benefit in the long run and all, because Aaron's going to get down there. He's going to play games. He's going to play every week. His confidence will be gone again. It's going to be a win-win situation for both of them. So it's a good deal for both, and he'll be happy to go out and play football again.
Aye, definitely. The Sunday game, St Cadoc's and Petershill, I managed to make it down myself. Got lucky that the Waynes had a birthday party to go to, so I had a bit of free time and went down. For me, I finished 4-3 Petershill. I thought St Cadoc's for most of the game were the better team. There wasn't a massive amount in it, but I thought they were a better side. And actually, see when St Cadoc's went 3-2 up, that was when Petershill really started to look like they hadn't really turned up. They've been quite passive. Their midfield sat in really deep. They allowed the boy like Dykes a lot of time on the ball, which yourself, it can be foolish to give him a lot of time.
Yeah.
Then as soon as they went 3-2 down, the game flipped. They just started coming out more, started attacking. The St Cadoc's goalkeepers made a couple of errors. For the third one, he's came out, he's missed it just after missing one a couple of minutes before. The boys dropped to end up getting the penalty out it. Big Ross McCabe scored an absolute cracking penalty. And then the fourth one, Petershill had a shot, and it was very soft. It wasn't the keepers had to dive for it, but it's a routine save, and it somehow found its way out of his arms. And I think the boy just laying a gun gutted after it. But it was quite an exciting game. There was a lot of people watching it, probably a couple of hundred at it, and I think probably about 99 of them were managers for other teams.
Aye, listen, it's actually good, and we were talking earlier. It's maybe something that teams could explore if they could get the odd Sunday game in to get a decent crowd in. I know that's just purely based on the sharing the park and stuff like that, but that's two good sides. That was always going to be a good game. I maybe didn't think it was going to have as many goals as what it did. But again, I'm not surprised. I think that could have went either way. But the big thing for me, you being there, it pure tells me that I always say it on this. It just shows you, see, when you're winning games and the character, and you've got that never say die attitude, mate. That's what PZ have probably got to now. They're winning lots of football games. Confidence is high in the camp, and they've ended up turning it round. And listen, we've all been there before. Like, I've said that we played well against St Cadoc's and Glenken, but at the end of the day, we've come out the game with nothing. And when Southie and Lockie and that are sitting tonight, so Lockie's in the next round of the cup, and the Petershill boys are. Unfortunately, the St Cadoc's boys, if they were the better side, but they're known the draw for the next round. But Aye, that's just character for real character for the Peasy boys, and they continue to kick on, and then just winning the game in that kind of manner just even adds to their momentum.
Well, I'm saying you're saying that they've been doing quite well recently. They obviously didn't have a great start, and they've started to put a lot of wins together. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong, because I've not seen Petersell in a couple of years, but I felt like they had another gear or two to go. Like I said, St Cadoc's were better than them. Again, I think St Cadoc's probably got more than that as well for everything I've heard about them. But I just felt Petersell didn't look like they really went for it. So they've probably got another couple of levels, but it was a good win for them nonetheless.
Very good.
Bumped into John Doyle today, Greenup manager. They beat the Borough 2-1 yesterday, which was quite a big win for them. I'd heard this for one of their players during the week, but they only had 7 fit players on Monday or Tuesday. Doyle had to go out and sign 4 new players and basically just bring bodies in that were injured. So for that, I think that's his first win. That was quite a big one for him.
Aye.
Another one for the Borough. They're probably going to be disappointed.
Congrats to Doyle, and that sounds tough. I mean, it's a tough start. It's a tough start for you when you go into a club and you're decimated with injuries. But fair play to them. Johnston Borough, we did say a couple of weeks ago they looked a wee bit resurgent. So to go to Keene Park, win the game is brilliant for them, and he'll be hoping again. That just gives him that confidence boost. He'll be hoping to get a few more players fit and then kick on and try and get a wee momentum and a decent run at it.
I think so. The other one I wanted to touch on, there's 2 games I want to touch on. First one being the Friday night game, Bo'ness beating Gartcairn 3-1. Gartcairn have obviously been flying the now. We've kind of got contacts at Gartcairn and stuff, so we always keep a wee eye out for them. That's maybe, I know it's no great they've lost, but that's maybe a good one for them to see the level that they want to go to. Bo'ness are a Lowland League side. Gartcairn have got ambitions to get themselves into the Premier League in the West. So it was maybe good for them to see what that kind of standard and the difference is like. But 3-1's not a worse result, to be fair, particularly through there.
No, and I can't really comment on the game. I don't know too much about it. But as you say, they've not been disgraced. But knowing Mulsey and wee John McGowan and that they would have wanted to go there and try and win the game. I know they would have in Army, not in the background. They'll be probably disappointed that they've not went there. And by all accounts, I think that they were the better side. They'll be a wee bit gutted that they've not went there and probably done better and turned them there, because they're a club with aspirations, like a lot of others, right enough, that want to go and be in that Lowland League and go higher. So I think they maybe before the game deep down thought, let's give this a good bash and try and do a wee shock here, because it's the opposite when teams in the Earl League play them. A lot of the teams are classed as underdogs. Maybe when people on the outside look at budgets and stuff. So for Gartcairn, it would have been different for their players to go up there as the underdogs.
Definitely hard game for them, but
yeah. Did you see that? Did you see that the Meda and Co-winning game?
That's the one I was going to touch on last.
Right, it's just in the same wavelength, mate.
Mate, that's it. We're always there. 5-3. The Meda. The Meda are kind of. They're quietly going about their business. I know they're dropping points in that, but they're quietly going about their business. I think Co-winning, they're going through a bit of a tough spell now. I seen Straney's interview again at the end of the game, and he's looking a bit down about the way things have been going. Like, so obviously they've invested a lot of money in the club in terms of the structure to get the license and all that. And I don't know their financial situation or anything, but I'd imagine they've probably put quite a bit of money into the playing staff as well, and probably be hoping to be higher up than they are, even though they're still up there. They're kind of struggling a wee bit now and get through a bad patch, whereas the Meda look like they're starting to try and kick on a bit.
Aye, it looks like some game, some goals in it. I don't know. I think was it Jamie Martin's Rasper or some? No, it was Gav. Was it Miller? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Miller scored a Rasper, man, left foot right in the top corner. What a strike! It looked like some game, mate. Typical cup tie, end to end, especially when it's two clubs that for close proximity. It's kind of like a derby feel in it, so it's had a wee bit of everything in the game. Brilliant for Meda. I definitely agree. I think Meda are doing well. I think Meda are having a good season. I think that Spenny and Latter are doing really well there. And as you say, quietly going about their business. They've got a good side there. Winning another one, listen, Spenny, he will be doing, because we don't pure know him personally that well, but for any time I've seen him or heard him talk, he's a right passionate guy, and he cares about his club, and he wants nothing but the best for his club. So he takes him hard. I think there's a lot. I think, to be honest with you, a lot of managers, and there's a lot of coaches and managers and committee members and stuff, we take defeats really hard. Not I mean, sometimes it's hard to get out of them. So it's no the end of the world for them. It's a cup. They want to do well in cups. They want to get one of their club that want to be lifting silverware, but they'll go back to the drawing board and they'll go again. It's no pure disaster, but at the same time they'll be disappointed in losing the game, especially losing 5 goals. Especially when you go away from home, you score 3 goals, you're not want to be losing the game. No. And that's what's happened. But brilliant for Meda and their fans. Brilliant for them. They're in the next round, they're a hat. It looked an amazing game, and they would have enjoyed it.
It's actually one that I want to get down to Meda Park and do something for us, because
the gaffer, Maxie, always speaks so highly at everybody doing at Meda, and speaks about their committee and their fans and all that, and the people down there. So I totally agree, mate. It'd be something that I would love to get down to Meda and sample the hospitality for the Meda Mad Squad.
I like the stand and all that they've got there, and the vantage point above the game, and particularly for us when we were kind of younger men and playing at this level, the Meda were a bit like Darvel and there's a lot of interest about them, where there's potentially a lot of money kicking about, and they had a couple of bad years, and it looks like Spenny and Latter are starting to bring that back. So going to move on now. I know there was no games in the Premier League yesterday, but I want to touch on midweek with Darvel beating...
Connie, see, before you go in the cup, I want to see a shout out to Hart Hill.
Oh, Hart Hill 3-1 against
Hart Hill beating Canoe. It's a great result for Hart Hill.
Because they've had a tough season as well, so it's a good dream for them.
That was one of the results that stuck out for me. So I know they're not one of the big household names, the west of Scotland, but for me, that's a very, very good result. I don't know, obviously, what Canoe's like, but it's not an easy probably team to go and play. So for Hart Hill, they've had a tough few weeks and tough season. Well done to Hart Hill Royal.
Yeah, I've actually forgot about my team yesterday. My beloved Les Mahego won 6-3.
So 9 goal filler.
Aye, one a go.
That's like an Ashfield.
No, don't worry, we'll get to Ashfield. So before we move on to the games for yesterday, going to look at Darvel Talbot the other night. Talbot finally lost. 16 games unbeaten in the Premier League is ridiculous. For the league, it was probably the best thing that could have happened with Darvel winning. Darvel are starting to really start click again. On Darvel, we wish the Gretna goalkeeper all the best after badging yesterday. Hopefully it's all right. I heard it was quite nasty. But Darvel are really starting to motor again, getting many of their players back, looking stronger, beating the Talbot. I was talking to Scott for SM Media the other day. He was doing it the game, covering it. And he was saying that he thought Darvel were a better side and they looked really good. He thought the Talbot were a bit stuffy. I think maybe the Talbot, because they only beat Forth 1-0 yesterday. I don't know if they're maybe not quite hitting all cylinders like they were right at the start of the season, but that's a massive win for Darvel.
Aye, firstly, we can't be too critical of Talbot here. Not at all. Even though they went and beat Forth 1-0 yesterday, it's like they're still winning football games. They've only lost one game. It's no good enough for the Talbot. They're still in a great situation. Like, listen, they're still in the cups and they're still top of the league, mate. But so they're not going to be too downbeat with that. But at the same time, what a result for Darvel. No surprised. I'm no surprised one bit, because, and know some of the players that Darvel have got, and listen, like most people, we know of them. We've either played against them, we've seen them play, or we've seen some of them on the fucking telly. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't have been phased by going to Beechwood and because of the quality that they've got. And I heard Mick saying after the game, he was like, we wanted to come here and dominate, and that says it all, that the confidence they've got in their players and their club. So the big one for me is it's a great result. It's great for the league. It's great for the neutral, because the last thing you want to do is see Talbot going and steamrolling it and winning it at a canter. Their fans would have liked that, but the rest is want to see it get tight and want to see it very tight and everything to play for. So they've done that. Darvel still a wee bit behind, but they look as if they're turning the screw on again. So hats off to Mick and the boys. He's rallied them. He's obviously got players back, and they're starting to motor on. So it's just about keeping that level of consistency for them, and I think that they'll do that.
I think it was a big win. Like we've said, it's definitely the best for the league, because you're keeping Pollock within touching distance now. Clydebank, even though they're set themselves and Coinning have been having a wee dip in form and lost 2 points, it still keeps them within kind of a fighter's chance. Moving on to Conference A, Shotts beat Craigmark 4-1 in the only game of the day.
Yeah.
Shotts are just, I know Arthurlie win their games in hand, they'll go top of the league, but Shotts just seem relentless now. They just don't seem to be.
Brilliant result, because Craigmark, the video of Craigmark, how good's that?
Oh mate, I know, I shared it. It's brilliant with Cadoc and his wee boy just following him a bit.
Class, mate, brilliant, man.
But the last I checked, it like 40,000 views.
Mrs. that would never let wee Marnie come to the games with me like that, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't want her copying my behaviour at the side of the park. No, it's a great result. Shotts are just flying on, and it shows you how good they two are, because even Arthurlie beating the Bens 5-1 in the cup,
I know.
It's like they two are just going toe for toe, putting teams away, and listen, it's good. It's good because not one of them are pulling away. The two of them are just putting the pressure on each other. So tremendous result for John and the Shotts boys.
Well,
they've gone well.
Shotts have won 14, lost 2. Arthurlie have won 12 and drawn 1. Now, am I right in saying that Arthurlie beat Shotts earlier in the season?
Aye.
So technically, between the two of them, they've only dropped 5 points against everybody else in the league.
Aye. It's very, very good consistency. But actually, better than very good. It's tremendous consistency by both clubs. So hats off to them both. But they both have had good results at the weekend again.
Aye, definitely. Moving on to Conference B, the Super Ashfield 6, Royal Albert 1, Carluke 1, Doyle 2, Ardere 1, Renfrew 3. So how was your game yesterday?
Aye, 6-1.
Ryan McManus, 5 goals.
Ryan McManus has been absolute different class for us all season, mate. Absolutely different class, and he's not just scoring goals, mate. He can play, mate. The way he holds the ball in, he can play. And I know I'm saying it on here. I don't want anybody to come in and take him away from us, but there's always teams that are going to like your best players. But wee man, tremendous. There's like a silver dollar the club have always done for people who scored 5 goals in a game. Big Callum get one here. Kieran Friel get one.
No chance.
Not one word there. Aye, mate. We played Ardere a couple of seasons ago. I think he scored, Anne Bank it was in fact, and he scored a couple of headers in that, and he was playing in the middle of the park or something. He got 5, mate. He got 1, and Maxie, they're the only 3 players, and then obviously Ryan McManus that I know that have had it in recent times. So well done to Ryan. Aye, 6-1, mate. We're scoring so many goals. No. We scored 50, 52 or something goals
53,
in 14 games.
53 goals in 15 games.
That's frightening, mate.
I know.
And obviously, don't look at our defensive record, but we needed that PGC after losing 2 games. We really needed it, because I was looking at that league and I was a wee bit downbeat with it, because I'm like, we're much better than that. And the wins took us up a few places because a lot of teams had cup games, and that we kind of had a game in honour teams as well. So again, we had to win it because now we've got another 2 weeks of cup games with the Scottish and a cup game against Glasgow Uni the week after. So imperative for us. I want to give a shout to Marky McManus and all. Marky started for us on Saturday.
Right. That's season 729 in the juniors.
40 years of age, mate. And
unreal, man.
Outstanding. He was outstanding, mate. So, but all the boys, I'm delighted for all the boys, and it sets us up for training this week with a massive game in the Scottish against Vale leaving on Saturday. Massive for both clubs. So, now we're delighted. 3 points on the board. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're playing good stuff. That's the thing. See for back to front. We're actually fucking playing good stuff. We look afraid. We're confident we're going to score goals. It's just defensively we've got improvements to make there, but we're getting there, mate.
Good. It was good to see his win again.
Yep.
Renfrew and Ardea, massive win for Jimmy Quigley. 2 games since he's been officially announced as gaffer. Two good wins for them. That's a cracker yesterday. Like, we both took that as a draw because I think we both had a wee feeling that Renfrew were starting to come. But I still thought that Ardea would be able to get something out of the game. That's a great win. And Sean will be pretty gutted with that because if they'd won yesterday, they'd have went into second place.
Mm-hmm. I think that brilliant for Jimmy. That's 2 games in the bounce for him since he's been announced. So he's getting the desired effect for his players.
Oh, you've gone, mate. You've gone.
Revenge, because Ardea gave him a bit of a scudding at Renfrew, you know what I mean?
See, for me, just looking at the table now, like, Renfrew have lost more games than you. They're 2 places, they're 1 point ahead, so it's almost nothing. But I think the thing that they've got is they're not drawing many games. You have had a couple of draws.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the fact that, see, if you were to look at it, you have lost 5 out of 15, which isn't terrible. It's not terrible considering you've also played all the top sides. It's not terrible at all. But it's just a couple of wee draws. But Sean will be gutted. They had a chance, even though St Carrots with a couple of games in hand. Sean will be gutted not to have been able to get in that second spot.
Here's something for you, and I don't know if Sean would agree with me, but if you were to sit and say to Sean at Ardea that he would be ahead of Renfrew after 15 games, and you were to say to Ashfield that we were a point behind Renfrew after 15 games, you're thinking that you're not too far away, by the way.
I know.
Do you get me? Just with the levels that both clubs have been at over the last few years, you would maybe think to yourself, they two are doing really well.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? They're doing very, very well. So Ardea are still doing amazing. Sean's still doing an amazing job. The Renfrew went down. They've managed to get a bit of revenge. They've reversed that defeat that they got at home, and they're getting going. Renfrew have got good players.
Aye.
Morton, Divers, they've got good players. They were never ever going to be down the bottom of that league because they gave us a doing. You know what I mean? So I know that they're a good side and they've got some good players and they're a good club as well. So it was always just a matter of time before they were going to motor on. So it's a good result.
To finish up on this division, a big shout out to Doyle, another one, beating Cadoc. Cadoc are having a wee bit of tough time yet. That's lost to Doyle and New Mains the last couple of weeks. That's games they'd have been aiming to have won, which would have really taken them would have put them right in the mix. That kind of middle bunch. But well done to Doyle. We've said this, you said it particularly, even though you gave them a right scudding. You said they're not as bad as they seem, and they would start to pick points up. I think you're starting to see now. It's something we've touched on quite a bit with the lower down teams who were taking downs in it, or at use of 10-6 after Royal Albert yesterday. But even across the leagues now, you're starting to see the bottom teams, even if they're losing, it's no at the same level they were losing at maybe 5-6 weeks ago. They're starting to be a lot more competitive, which is good to see because you don't want teams to be getting.
A lot of teams don't stay that way because as the season goes on and there's players out there not playing somewhere or not playing for a club, and you manage to pick players up, and you get to coach your team. Do you know what I mean? You get to coach your players 2 nights a week, and you get to try and instill your beliefs and what you think that you need to work on. So, that's why teams get better and they're a lot harder to break down and get results again. So, Dalry no different. Do you know what I mean? Carluke will be disappointed with the last 2 results because, as you say, they would have maybe been looking in-house and saying we need to take 6 points and it takes them right back into the pack again. But they've lost the 2 and then it creates a wee bit of a gap for them. So they'll go back to the drawing board and Martin, the squad will be looking to the next one.
Just before finishing up actually on this division, next week, massive game, Cambuslang against St Cadoc. I think it's at McKenna Park. So that'll be a cracker. It'll be good to see, because I think St Cadoc's they beat Cambuslang opening game of the season.
Absolutely. That's a biggie. That's a biggie. That'll be a good game, and I hope that the fans, I hope that people go down and watch that, because that should be a good game with 2 good sides, and they 2 teams and they 2 clubs deserve a decent crowd at that, because the way they've played and the records that they've got in the league and what's at stake. They deserve a good crowd, and their players deserve to go and play in a game with a good following, a wee bit of an atmosphere, and see who comes out on top. Cambuslang will be trying to get revenge on the defeat in the first day of the season, and St Cadoc's will be wanting to just the both of them just want to win the game. Do you know what I mean? It's a massive game.
Definitely. I think it's huge. It's one will be arguably the biggest game next week. Moving on to Conference C, only the one game. Nielsen beating Ardrossan 4-2, which something we've spoke about is the fact that Nielsen don't score many goals, so that'll be
I think we
Carson and Cameron, they'll be really happy with that, winning 4-2, and that's them 5 points behind the Drum. Played the same amount of games. They're keeping themselves just in there. The Drum are still going strong, but they're
winning games, mate. They've beat the Shire and Ardrossan a decent side as well. So there's no easy games in these conferences at times, and some of the cup results will show you that. There's some good teams in the conferences, so Nielsen will be delighted. I think wee Brophy's got a couple of goals. Kieran Brophy, good player. Nielsen just stay on the tails of the Drum, and it just keeps going, and that's a good league. It's a good league, and it's the one that will feature on Wednesday, isn't it?
Yep.
So it's a very, very good league, a very good episode. One that we tune in with Nielsen, Gaffer, Chris Cameron, Hopey at the Drum, Adam Hopes, and Mark Daly, Spud at Wishaw, and we talk about that Conference C and the clubs. So it's a good watch. Plugged it early, mate.
We've recorded, it feels like it was ages ago now. We've even recorded another one since then. But we won't talk about that now. It's about Conference C. That was a good episode. Actually, we get the guys going to. We kind of touch on a couple of things that we've not spoken about as well, which was quite nice. And it was three really good guests, to be honest. We need to start mixing up a bit and try and see if we can get a couple of wee arguments and Barneys on when we do it, because everybody, that's the Division 4 one, the Conference C one, they all seem to go on with each other. They're all too diplomatic.
Yeah. The only Barneys that happen now on the west of Scotland, mate, is when you start putting things on their Twitter.
Oh no, people just not wanting to talk to me and all that. I don't know what's going on.
Mate, but see, the thing is, mate, that's what it is, mate. We can't please everybody, unfortunately.
No, we cannot.
Good cop, bad cop. You're the bad cop, I'm a good cop, mate.
Moving on to Division 4, only the one game, Kilsyth beat Glendale 2-1. Just based off of Twitter, it seemed like it was quite a tight game. Glenville would be disappointed with that, because that would have been a good win for them. Also would have put them ahead of us, our biggest rivals. Kilsyth, we spoke about this before. That's Kilsyth and Fanart are just plugging away, winning a lot of games. Hamley Roar starting to get himself back in the mix here.
Yeah,
we're probably a wee bit too far away now. Dropped too many points, but we've got the capabilities of going and beating anybody in our league. But there's no much to it. Kilsyth and Fanart just seem to be winning regularly. Two of them are good sides.
I think we've seen many times on the show, it's going to be between the two. I think with the looks at it. I mentioned, I think Harmony could maybe sneak in the back door if they can just keep basically winning all their games and beating the two. But it's they won the game, haven't they? Again, it's 3 points, mate, and our 3 points closer to where they're wanting to go.
That's it, mate. That's it. Well, that'll finish us up, and I apologise.
Yeah.
Oh, you getting you want to say?
No, mate.
I apologise if I've missed anybody, because it wasn't the best for getting results. I had to go hunting for the results. Normally, we have a couple of people who square us up with it, and I had to go looking myself today. So I apologise if I've missed anybody up. Like Dak said a couple of minutes ago, Conference C episode is out on Wednesday morning, usual time, 9 o'clock. So get yourself watching that, because it was a really good episode. We had a good chat with the boys.
It's good chat with football.
Aye, it's good to see different managers in the same league who are kind of with their points of view and certain things. So it's well worth a watch.
Aye, we've done Division 4. Now it's Division C's opportunity.
I know. Hopefully by Christmas, or maybe just after the new year, we'll have had everybody done. We'll have all 5 leagues done. We've got a couple other episodes lined up there. I think crackers, but we'll keep stumbling that now. But hopefully you all enjoy this and have a good week, everybody.
Aye, have a belter, troops, and have a good, safe week. And next week's Big Scottish for the famous Ashfield.
Ashfield. Please, later.